Hello people, and welcome back to part 4 of Palaven, our vanilla Cities Skylines build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And last episode we worked on our little suburban green cities tram square thing here, and you guys really enjoyed it again. Thank you for all support on this series. It's nice to know that you guys are enjoying the vanilla aspect of the game and the different vibe that we're going for. A few different off-camera amends. We have continued the kind of rickety wooden fence in here along the highway, and then alongside the ring road here as well. We've also hooked the ring road into a couple of places where you can see it's getting some use now. So it's faster for them to use the high-speed road to get around. You can see now, just we've got a bird's eye view how people are deciding to use it. Obviously, as more people begin to fill out our suburban pattern, we'll see more use on that. Also continued expanding our little dirt and cycling path combination here, ready for when we want that big explosion of population. We've got the space ready to go. I think that's all we've done off camera. I'm pretty sure I've not missed anything right there. Yeah, I think it is. Oh yeah, these rocks by the side of the river as well. So just a couple of rock assets in, just to help decorate the bank of the river, just so it's a little more interesting. But yeah, it's a nice little entrance, a kind of exit drive out of the town as well on the highway here. Nice bit of highway decoration. But in today's episode, we are going to be looking at the town centre, which is one of my favourite things to build, and hopefully one of your guys as well come the end of this. So we have our kind of very beginner suburb. This is beginning to kind of come to a close over here. And we are now ready to formulate some shops, probably using a unique building in here as well. And then formulate a little bit of a tram interchange, because I do want my tram lines to continue up until here. And I don't want this to be the same tram line. You could do it as the same tram line if you want, but I just want to see them switching the lines, so that's what I'm going to do. So first thing we'll do is we're going to take out this little tram loop that we have in right away. And then we're going to come in to our walking path tools. I think we'll go with path with decorations. I think this will be a nice little spot. So let's bring it up parallel. So I'm not going to have a road on this one. We'll have our roads come in from the side. So symmetry is kind of my goal here, right? I want this to be kind of mirrored on all sides, that real town centre feel. Okay, so if my tram lines are no longer entering in this way, then they need to come up this way. So we'll upgrade that one into a tram road. Then let's grab our tram track here. We're going to come out by 390. That's going to leave us 3 zoning tiles. So I think what we'll do is we'll come out a little shorter, probably to about there. Just so I've got my zoning tiles here in case I want any decoration. This will be grand for that. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing this side as well. Alright, fantastic news. We have our tram lines in here and a path in the middle of them. So obviously if they want to switch from one side to the other, then they can do it here. But I do want some actual road networks. Oh, and by the way guys, sorry, when I was detailing off camera, we actually hit Busy Town, which gave us some city planning policies, some tourism, oil, some more unique buildings and trolley buses. So the tram loop has found its place again now, starting to get some people coming in. And we obviously want to make sure we go ahead and turn off the traffic light here. I just want people to come straight through. And yeah, this will be really nice. So as we did unlock the new roads last milestone, which we hit off camera, we can now begin to kind of map out our little town centre network. So I think with the roads right along the front of the tram stops here, I'm going to have the 2-lane road with trees, which look wonderfully fancy. Now, because we're making kind of a town centre, it's a little bit of an important area here. We are going to be placing in something rather nice. Now, there is a couple of new things. There's a Panda Sanctuary here as well. A temple complex. So these are some of the stuff from the Pearls from the East content creator pack, I think. Now, there is something called the tax office under your level 3 unique buildings. Now the tax office, it just kind of has that town centre vibe. It's almost like a city hall or kind of like a council hall. So this is the kind of vibe I want my town centre to have, you know, lots of symmetry. We're getting people using this central path right now. And yeah, it's nice. It'd be really cool as well once we've got the other tram line in that takes people in this direction. And we'll have lots of people kind of coming to and from this point to switch the tram lines. And what we will do as well, we had a comment last episode as to why we haven't used buses and just gone straight to trams. Kind of the short answer to that is trams are better. But what we will do is where we have these suburbs that don't have a tram line in them, we'll run bus lines from there, and we'll also have the intercity bus plaza over here somewhere near the highway eventually, and then we'll hook some bus lines into that and in and around these tiny suburban streets. So we'll wait a little bit to use buses. Alright, so let's continue mapping out our little road network here. So I think the roads around the side of the city hall itself, we're going to go for the 2-lane road with grass. Tend to just kind of, when you have all the roads available, if you go for 2-lane road with trees everywhere, you can become a little bit overwhelmed by all the trees. So using them sparingly will give your areas kind of a much nicer feel, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Okay, so with these ones here, we're going to do the same thing we did last episode. We're just going to snap to angle. Now I don't want to connect this up to here because one, the road bends out, and having a connection like right here would be a little bit too close to the tram one. So we're just going to bring it out about there. That'll be fine. And then again the same thing on this side. I just realised I haven't used the tree road for that one, my mistake. Do the same thing. Grab our tree road and bring him up. Super. Wonderful. So now we'll come back into our snapping and we'll bring our roads up to here, and then we'll draw a road around the back of our town hall. So kind of the symmetry aspect now, we've got some really nice shapes going on. Lots of squares at the moment. I think we will keep it quite square because it kind of its main box is square, so I guess we'll just run with that theme and kind of see what comes of it. Okay, so we now need to connect up, of course, and I think, again, I'll switch to the 2-lane road with trees, and then we'll hook in about there. And then what I might do here is actually introduce a little one-way system, kind of from one side to the other. And I think maybe we'll go for right there. We'll switch that system out, and then we can continue that way as well. Just a little flow system. I think that'd be quite nice. So that's not a bad town centre, I don't think. If you're kind of wondering what the measurements are that I'm using here, if you missed the previous couple of episodes, the measurements with kind of the outside boxes here, these are all 30 by 30 roads. So if you're kind of looking at your measurement here, with just the regular 2-lane road, 4-lane road, it's 1800 in cost, or 30 tiles. If you're looking to kind of recreate something similar in your own city. I think so far that's looking pretty nice. So right now what we could do is we could just go ahead and fill in all of these with commercial and then just call it a day. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. But you know, we're not going to do that. We want to do something a little more special with kind of each of these tiles here. So I think what we'll do is we'll go for one of them kind of as a green cities block, which will be quite cute. So let's have a look at our zoning tiles here. So we've got, I think I know what I'm going to do. So similar to what we did last episode, I'm going to give this tiny little square here. I guess we could even go for both with them actually. Let's tidy this up across all the roads. I'm going to give it an organic and local food specialisation. And then I'm going to come into my dirt path, just grab my regular gravel path. With none of my snapping on, switch to a freeform road tool. And then I'm just going to start weaving through the roads. Just like this, okay? And then I might have another one that's like this. And then maybe one that cuts straight through the middle. So I've got very broken tiles here. Then what you want to do is just grab your brush and then paint in all those tiles as Green Cities Commercial. And you'll be surprised with how this looks come the end. We'll kind of get some little markets around here. It'll start to look really nice. I think it's better than just regular zoning. And then we can fill it out with some trees as well once we kind of come to the end, which would be really nice. Little car park. You could go, if you wanted to, you could do the Green Cities car park trick here and make yourself like a dedicated parking area. Now I do want some services here. We have yet to place the med clinic, which we have 46 citizens now, so this could be a good time to place it. And again, I think I want this kind of up and alongside my kind of main road here. I think this will be pretty nice, so we'll go for the med clinic right on the corner. So we're getting a whole bunch of level ups now across our nearby commercial and residential areas because we just placed in the clinic. You can see them all these people here beginning to upgrade. Indicated by the little green arrow, of course, means they're moving up a level. So they'll hold more people and give us more tax, which is going to help pay for all our services here. Because we're making pretty much 4,500 a week, give or take a few hundred as it fluctuates around. So we can more than afford to place in a couple of more expensive assets here. So now I want to take a look at the rest of those commercial squares in the town centre, but I want to be quite selective with what assets are appearing there. So I'm going to come back to my old high street. This is the one we built in episode 1. And I'm just going to have a little scan around at some assets that I think would work nicely there. So there's this one right here, Drugstore 2.0. Kind of looks got some like restaurant vibes to it. It's pretty nice. So we come in, we can see that this one's a 4x4, so I like that one. I like the 3x4 bookstore as well. Have that one. This one is a 4x3, so that's a nice shape as well. So just have a little look around and see what assets you like. Obviously, if you're playing with kind of find it and plot the growables, I think it is the 2 mods. You can just place these in straight off the bat. You don't need to wait for them to level up or spawn in. Obviously, as we have vanilla, we have to deal with vanilla problems, so that is what we'll do. So I think we'll go for a 4x4 here, and a 4x3 there, and another 4 right there. And then where we have those empty spaces, of course, you guys know what is coming. We're going to go for a little path. I'm going to bring this through the middle. So it's all about making our cities more walkable. Everyone's going to be super happy. So this is a really nice kind of town centre building. It's got a little marketplace. It's a nice corner one. Got like a little diner in here as well. Almost looks like a Red Robin. So I'm going to historical these as I like them. Yeah, I'm happy with that one as well. Vice versa, if you don't like it, just delete it and wait for something else to spawn in. I think we might delete this one. I think we'll wait for something new to come in there. And again, maybe let's have a 4x3 along here. I think I'll have a big 4x4 on the corner. So just doing this kind of very selective zoning, at least kind of, you know, not factoring in this bit at the back over here, we'll start to have a much more customised high street, which will be nice. Now there is something that we haven't placed in yet, and under the medical buildings, and these are the 2 kind of care centres. So there's elder care and childcare. We'll kind of run over each one as we use them. But they came with Sunset Harbour, and they affect our kind of population directly. So we'll have a little discussion about those. This is quite nice. This has got some like cafe corner benches out the front. I like that one. The Burger Bite. I think we'll let the Burger Bite level up. We'll see what else we get in here. Got another one over here as well. This one's quite nice. It's got a little garden out front, so I think again we'll keep that one. Yeah, I'm happy with that, I think. Here we go. Here comes the people using all the paths. So satisfying to see them using them all. How's the tram line doing now? Do we need any more trams? No, but we're still good. There's still plenty of room on the 4 trams we've got on the line so far. But let's just take a little look around. Yeah. I like it. So much fun watching them move around the area. Amazing. Okay. So again, this one's already leveling up because the area around him is so high value. So we've got like a little shop on there. Yeah, that one's all right, I think. Well, I guess we'll keep it. And I think I'll have another 4x3 in there. I think that'll be fine. So just take some time to customize. Obviously, if you're just kind of filling in commercial just to satisfy zoning, that's fine as well. But just taking your time to kind of customize a main street like this will really kind of give your main centres a much different feel to the rest of your map if you're just carefully zoning as opposed to just block zoning like that, you know? Okay, so let's have a look at some care centre stuff. So I'm going to grab myself a 2-lane road with grass. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to draw this out from this road right here. Of course, we need to delete a whole bunch of these trees around the town centre so we can place our own in. So we'll bring this road there. And then we'll come ahead in and grab one of our care centres. So the Elder Care Centre, it's a small healthcare facility offering treatment targeted specifically at the elderly, which creates a health benefit. And the Elder Care will extend the lifespan of the elderly within the building's radius. So as we kind of click on this here, we can see we get this big blue circle. So this is going to cover most of our suburb here, and most of this suburb right here, so it's kind of a central position. And that's going to look quite nice, kind of right in the middle there. So the Elder Care building is a really nice looking asset. It's got these kind of like, I don't know, are they like terracotta tiles on top? I don't know. I don't know what they're called. I think they're terracotta. That's probably wrong though. So yeah, it's a nice looking asset. And look how many people are using the cemetery path right here as well to cut through. It's all about making our city more walkable, isn't it? And we can really see all those paths starting to pay off now. Lots of people using them to kind of come and go around the area, which is really great. So I think what we will do here is we will do some of that Green Cities stuff. So I'm going to extend my Green Cities district along this road right here. Let's take that back a touch, just push it into the corner. There we go. So there is a technique for getting car parks in, unmodded. So by drawing in 2x4 tiles of Green Cities, we have the chance to generate a car park, which is this asset right here, the Edison Hypercharger. So by putting multiple of these together, you will eventually generate the look of a park, of a car park. But it does take a little while to come in, so just keep your eye on it. Wait till you get Edison Hypercharger. Once you do, you make it historic, and then you're kind of good to go. Oh, this building has leveled up. Nope, don't like you. We're not having those ones in. So I'll keep my eye on this, make sure we get what we want in, and then we'll kind of come back once they're here. So that actually didn't take too long at all, and now here we are. We have a little bit of a car park for our town centre here, which really helps add in amongst all the commercial. Obviously we don't get car parks, maybe in the future DLC, or in Cities 2, fingers crossed, the unmodded and console games will get access to car parks. But this is a convenient, if not slightly longer way of getting them in. So again, just to recap, 2x2 zones, 2x4 zones of Green Cities specialised commercial. You have a chance of generating something called the Edison Hypercharger. Once it's in, make it historical, and you have yourself some car parks. And then I think with this final square over here, we'll run some kind of actual park assets. So I think we'll go for the basketball court will be perfect. And then that also leaves us room to run a path around the edge of him. So I think we'll stick with the park paths because that's what we've been using for kind of the majority of this build. And then we'll just draw in a little border around the edge of our basketball court. No, it's kind of pointless because they can still walk down here and across here, of course. You know, they can still get around. But it's just a nice border. Again, you know, we've discussed it before. Like, we're still getting people using it, which is great. Oh look, there's one of the park maintenance vehicles. He's maintaining the park. Thank you very much. So yeah, this is kind of the bulk of our town centre done. So what I want to do now is I want to get people using this tram interchange as well. So we'll begin to do a little bit of future planning. Let's grab our tram roads. Let's have all our snapping on. And then we're going to draw out from here, let's say just by 10 for right now. And then we'll begin to move into our freeform tool. And then we'll just begin to curve away. So I'm going to try and line it up as centrally as I can. Let's go for, I think there, and then what we can do is we'll begin to have that travel in that direction, and we'll build something at the head of the island here. It's not an island, is it? Is that a peninsula? It's just land, isn't it? It's just the way the river flows around it. I don't know why I'm trying to find some kind of special name for it. It's just a bit of land. Yeah, so there we go. We'll have that head out in that direction, and we'll expand out here as well with more suburb. Once we have the demand for it and different parks and build, we'll probably have a little kind of suburban park in here at some point as well. Kind of the bulk of our town centre done. Obviously we haven't detailed up yet. We'll make this look a lot nicer. Fill out some of these green areas with trees and rocks and some park life assets, which is what we'll cover now actually, because we do need to talk about this. So let's dive into the wonderful world of park life for the first time. So in our district tools with park life, we gain the access to, or we have access to paint a park area, which is very similar to a district, but it correlates solely to parks. Now we do want a park area right here. Now this is our industry area, isn't it? So you cannot overlap industry areas and park areas. So if I were to paint my park area out here, you can see that it's taken over the industrial area. So I know my industry kind of ends at this point right here. So all this industry area isn't needed anymore. I can just cut that back against the road. Just get rid of it. And then we'll probably take it back up until here as well. There we go. I do like to be quite tidy with my industry areas. Try to be anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw out a park here. I'm going to stick to my little road network. You'll really kind of appreciate your areas and policies and districts a lot more if you stick to your road guidelines and make them look a lot neater as they kind of slot in with each other. So this is going to be our first park area. Wonderful. So I'm going to clear out a bunch of the trees because we just need to kind of see what we're working with, and then we can place our own trees in. So we'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. We have Lynch Hill. We do already have a name for this. I'll pop that up once we get the park area in. So coming back into our park life stuff, we have a couple of options. We have a park main gate, which has like a little parking decal out the front of it. Or we have the small park main gate. And because we're in kind of relatively low density suburbia here, I think we're going to keep this as the small gate. So we'll run probably about there. And what that's going to do is that is going to turn our park area into a city park area, which is fantastic. It's going to give us access to a park side gate, a park plaza, a park info booth, a park restroom, and a park cafe, which are really nice assets and will help our park move through its respective levels. So really similarly to our industry area, we have to hit a total number of visitors instead of producing a total number of materials, and we have to hit a total level of entertainment as opposed to hitting a total level of workers. But I don't just want this to be park life stuff, I want to integrate a couple of little vanilla park assets into this as well. So we want to go for a dog park, and we'll place this on the corner. So again, will be a nice little corner asset here. We do need to turn off some of these traffic lights as well. Guess who's not been keeping up? Me. There we go, let's have a quick scan around. Yeah, no thank you, no thank you. There are a time and a place for traffic lights, and we will go over that when we come to them. But for an area of this density, traffic can flow as it wants, really. There's no real kind of cause for it. So the name of this park has already been claimed. We're going to go for Rick's Rocket the Rescue Dog. I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. So this is a park dedicated to Rick's Rocket the Rescue Dog, who is one of the subscribers. Thank you very much for your suggestion. And this will kind of integrate with a dog park as well. So it's kind of like a dog-themed rescue park. which will be really, really fun. So I think what we'll do is we'll get in some very base assets first and get the entertainment level going, because right now we're not making any money. It's a very small loss. This is due to the expense of the park gate, $48 a week. $48 a week in expenses. Super simple. So let's come in and grab some of our park paths. So you can see now that I've used the park path with decorations, see there's just a few too many trees. It's just like they're kind of lost amongst each other. So what I'll do is I'll just come ahead and upgrade the paths around the plaza into without decorations, and it just gives the plaza a little more meaning, a little more importance. And I think we'll run with that. So if I were to just go ahead and draw this path up to the road now, people can't enter it. However, they can enter it without paying, and that's because there's no gate here. So obviously we don't need to place another main gate, because you can see the area already has a main gate, but we can place in a side gate, which is what we are going to do. So I've now got my side gates in right here. Pretty kind of basic at the moment. What I like to do in my park areas, I don't really like to flesh them out until they hit level 5. So I just tend to keep coming back, checking on the entertainment level, which we can see we're still a little bit short of at the moment. So let's go in and grab another path. And we'll bring this one out. Actually, let's place in the asset first. So we'll have a cafe. We'll have the cafe up alongside the main path right here. Then I'll draw in a path around it. And then maybe I'll go for a park info booth. About there. That seems okay. And we'll draw in maybe just like a little dead end path here. Don't have to hook it up. And then what we can do is we can maybe take this off and run it parallel with this one. Snap to the road guideline here. And then what you can do here is just run some very light tree detailing between them. Or you can do bushes. One really nice asset with park life, which is very underrated, is actually the hedges that come with it. Also the flower beds as well. So you get hedge number 1, hedge number 2, and then a couple of different flower bed options. So, you know, all the paths don't have to link together. Maybe just drop in a couple of flower beds. But no, like I said, I like to wait until my parks hit level 5, so we unlock all of these assets right here before we really kind of make it the final version. But you can do writer things with them. Just make sure you're hitting the entertainment level, which we have done now, which is fine. And you know, you'll start to see Sims come in. Let's have a look at the expenses right now. So we're making a very slight profit, but you know, once they're kind of up, and we will eventually have a talk about how you can cheese this park life stuff once we get to kind of a busier part of town. What you can do is you can essentially charge people to cross the road, which is amazing. You make like thousands a week out of it. Park life is very easy to cheese, but for right now, this would be a kind of a simple, very basic park to get us started off with. We'll grab our park fence, of course, and just to make it easier, just snap to your angle, and then you can kind of come around any assets you've got placed in already. So I've got a little fire station in here. And don't forget as well, you know, integrate some zoning into this. Maybe get some really light commercial opposite here. Just a couple of little blocks, maybe like a little 3x3, nothing major. I'll actually take that off and add that on there. And then I'm going to box in my park fence around this commercial. It will really just kind of help with adding a bit of variety to the park, different shapes with the fencing, and then I can bring that up to my industry area fence, and that's all kind of boxed off. Again, you know, if you're deciding you're not kind of enjoying the assets that are generating, like this one's perfect. General store, let's have that in. Quiet corner shop, I kind of like the ice cream thing outside, and the bookstore, that's great. I'm happy with those. Do the same along here as well if you like. I think I'm going to save this front really for my own detailing. And then I think what we'll do is we'll bring this one up, but leaving a tile free between the fence and the park asset, and I can run a path through here. I can do more detailing. So just kind of think of where you're drawing in those park paths, and you'll kind of thank yourself for it in the long run. And I'll just end it there, and you know, we'll kind of fill this little hill out with trees, and maybe kind of like a little slightly elevated cafe that looks out over the suburb from here. Maybe kind of like on this little bank in there, we'll do a cafe. But we'll definitely come back to kind of finish this off once we maybe come to that Park Life Cheese episode. And we can also increase our ticket price if we like as well, just to make a little more money out of it. But you know, that's some pretty basic Park Life stuff. And then obviously there are kind of 4 variations of that. You've got the City Park, Amusement Park, Zoo, and Nature Reserve. But you know, we'll come back to finish this off at a later date. However, the reason I wanted to do that is because we can actually place the Park Life assets outside of a park, provided they are on a road. So if we come ahead and grab like a restroom, for example, we can see building must be placed inside the park area or roadside. Now this is amazing because we can place park assets alongside roads, which is just fantastic. So you see how here it's not letting me place it because we're trying to place it on a tram track, which isn't technically a road. However, there is again a way we can cheese this. If you have a road, or I think an elevated path works as well, you can actually place your Park Life assets on the tram tracks because it thinks it's snapping to this road, but it's actually snapped onto the tram track. And this is a super nice way to decorate your tram tracks. Obviously, you can turn this into a park area if you want. However, people will be able to walk in and out of it because you won't be able to tether it to a gate because it's on a tram road. That's a lot of information. I understand that. But yeah. So we can have a little what's it called? A little restroom in there. And I think we were a little too deep here, aren't we? Yeah, for the cafe, that's fine. How about a park info booth? Yeah, so we can squeeze the info booth in here as well. You know, it's a nice way to fill out those tram squares, isn't it? I think it would be a little too small for a plaza here, wouldn't we? Yeah, we would. But you know, you can adjust your tram square size to suit it. But just to get a couple little park assets in here, amongst all your other regular commercial buildings, will really just help to kind of tie it all together. And then finally, one last thing we can do is we'll have a park cafe. And I think what we'll do is we'll run this up alongside the town centre, saving ourselves a little room for, of course, a path. And we'll run the path through there, and that'll be fine. And we've got a couple little tiles here for some kind of final detailing, which we'll get to in a moment. So that feels, guys, like a good place to jump into a detailing time lapse. We're going to add some trees in around here, tidy up some of these borders alongside of the edge where the kind of the suburb ends and the town centre begins. We'll also do some detailing out front of the elder care centre here as well. I'm also going to add in another tram stop over here just so we can have this one flowing so we can kind of see what it looks like. Well, yeah, as always, we'll be right back. Okay guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, a like below is always appreciated. Equally as much if you didn't enjoy it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Really happy with the way this has turned out, and of course the trusty old tax office really works as a nice centre for your town centres, funnily enough. It's a shame we only get to use one of them, but for this kind of small town vibe suburb that we're going for in this part of the map, it really works out nicely. A nice little green city specialisation going along as well, obviously to help us get those park assets in. The second tram line is very short and only has 2 tram lines on it. We will expand that in future episodes as we move towards that end of the map. So don't worry about that too much right now. Just a quick comment to address some of the comments in the videos. People are wondering what tile I'm planning to expand into. I'm not really sure yet. This is going to be quite a slow series because we're going to do so much detail and make everything look super nice. So if it's a little slow for you, I apologise for that, but either way, you can expand into any tile you want to off of this. If you want to do industry, expand towards the railway, if you're playing on the same map, of course. Yeah, but either way, this is going to be a little bit slower, so we'll be in this tile for a couple more episodes yet, at least, I imagine. But that is it from me. Hang around for the rest of the outro tag and check this place out at night time. It's going to look really great. And yeah, I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.